everybody, it's Mary at Yard Art or Us. I hope you guys are doing great today. I am going to show you how to paint. This is one of the Christmas nativity pieces, Baby Jesus in the Manger. I base coated it with a solid white one time. I did one coat of solid white, and then of course I put some more white here. Hey Debbie, how are you? Hope you're doing good today. I base coated flesh for the face, light yellow for my hay, green for my banner, and then of course reindeer brown. So reindeer brown, light green, light yellow, white, flesh. So there's not a whole lot to this guy, but it's kind of one of those that it's part of the Christmas piece that we've been doing. We started with Mary in March, and then we did Joseph in April. This is May. We did these two in the Academy, the lambs. Well, this one's not quite finished, but this is the finished lamb that we did in the Academy. And then, of course, today I'm doing Baby Jesus. And then in June, we will be doing probably, I think we're going to do all three animals, the cow, the camel, and the donkey, even though we've kind of planned on doing one. Because if we don't, then we're not going to have time to get to the wise men, the shepherd, and all of that in time for everybody to paint it. Hey Pam, how are you? Hey Joyce, I'm so glad y'all could join me. I just want to make sure that I put a comment in here. Let's see. Okay, nope, don't want to do that. Well, it's not going to work today. I wanted to go live today using where y'all could see the lettering, because y'all tell me, the lettering I'm thinking y'all are seeing like on the word S-H-A-R-E, and the lettering back here is probably backwards, but the button that I've used all this time is gone. So we're going to just have to go with what we got. I have a rake brush here, and I am just doing some good old just brush strokes. Not trying to be perfect, not trying to be patterned. And the only thing I can say about these brush strokes is I'm just going in the direction or the curve, if you will, of what I think the hay would be. So over here, I don't know if you can see it, there you go. Over here, I'm kind of just doing a little bit of a curve, not much. And I'm putting it on my rake brush, and then I'm raking it back. Yeah, Debbie, it's backwards. Have you released any more nativity pieces? The only thing we've released right now is what you see right here in those two lambs. And then in June, we're going to release the cow, camel, and donkey. And then in July, we will probably do, of course, y'all know we have Christmas in July, so we'll probably do something, either the three wise men in July or the two shepherds. Trying to make it by the time August hits, we have every piece out, and you still have August, September, and October to paint, you know, because if you choose to do all of it, it could be a lot of pieces. So anyway, that's my rake brush, that's my hay. So this is my shading yellow, and I've done it right in here. So what I'm going to do, because this is, I like what I have here. I think it's good, but I need it to be a little bit more, not just a one color. I think hay is kind of multicolored. So I'm going to put a little bit of this, my shading yellow, and I'm going to take just a little bit of this. Hey Ash. Yeah, Debbie, my words are backwards because the little, there used to be a little button on Facebook that I could press to flip the screen. That button is gone today. I don't know why. So I just took some shading brown with some shading yellow. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing with this. I didn't even clean out the rake brush, y'all. You can see it still has paint on it. So we were out there this morning painting, or glittering is really what we were doing. And man, y'all, it was hot. I was like, it's a little bit too hot out here for May. I think Bruce looked it up, and it was said it was 87, but it felt like 93 because it was very humid. So we were like, and that was at 10 o'clock this morning, y'all. Imagine if we'd have been out there at 2 o'clock. Okay, I like this. I'm gonna hold this up to the camera in a minute, and I'm gonna show you guys what this looks like. what I did is just take a little bit of shading brown and mix it with shading yellow. And it just gives my hay a variegated, multi-dimensional look, which is kind of what I'm going for. And again, I just put it on my brush and wipe it off and then stick it on and then do some brush stroking. And I also wanted to use StreamYard and could not get that working. So I think I'm gonna have to get the folks on the phone at StreamYard and say, what the heck is going on? When you pay for an app and it doesn't work, well, when you pay for anything and it doesn't work, or when anything doesn't work, whether you pay for it or not, it can be really frustrating. So, but it seems to, I was telling Ashley I had a thing on Facebook, with Facebook, because I spend money with them, they'll, of time to time, they'll send an account rep to call me. And my business manager page is, my login won't work, and so I was explaining it to them. And they said, well, we're gonna send you an email. So they sent me an email. Y'all, we went through 8 emails about why this didn't work, and I had to make all these recordings and show them. I had to do a lot of screen recordings and say, so they could see all of my permission settings and all that. After 8 emails back and forth, they basically said to me, yes, we see the problem that you're having. Sorry, everybody else, a lot of people are having this same problem, and we can't help you because it's not, we can't fix it, or we haven't fixed it. I don't know how they wanted to say that. I was like, you couldn't have told me that after 8, or before the 8 emails? Hey Paula, how are you? So needless to say, I was not a happy camper. So I just took some shading green, okay? And I just shaded around that banner with the shading green. I'm gonna tilt this. You might not be able to see my face as much, but that's okay. I'm gonna try to tilt this to where we have a little bit better angle. Let me move this out of the way. Yeah, well, you know, Debbie said they must have done another update. Well, the problem is I've had this error message for about 4 months, and I just gave up. And when they contacted me, I thought, well, this is just a good time for me to say, hey, can y'all help me out? They were contacting me about something else, but and then after 8 emails, they said, yeah, we know about this problem. A lot of people are having the problem, and we do not have a solution. We're so sorry. Well, and then they closed the ticket out. I told Bruce, well, why wouldn't they leave the ticket open so when they did get a solution, they could contact me and say, we now have a solution. But they didn't do that, y'all. They just closed the ticket out and gave me what I call a Dear John letter.
You're not expecting to have a solution.
Exactly. So y'all, it was like, okay, well, basically what I got out of that is they took up a lot of my time to tell me that they already knew they had a problem and they don't have a solution. So, you know, hey, what are you gonna do? Now I'm using a light blue on here, and I really like it. And I'm just putting a little bit of shading on there and adding some brush strokes like that. And then I'm gonna take shading blue. Oh Lord, y'all, it looks like it's the same blue. Oh, well, huh. Oh, I cracked myself up, y'all. I picked up the wrong bottle. Let me try to pick up the right bottle this time. Hey Tammy, how are you doing? Hi Carla, I'm glad y'all could hang out with me. I am doing this Baby Jesus piece, and we are now, let's see, did the lambs and the Baby Jesus this month. Next month we're going to do cow, camel, and donkey. And then in July we'll probably release either the 3 wise men or the 2 shepherds, and that way you'll have plenty of time between now and then to do everything you want to do, you know, by the time Christmas rolls around. If you're wanting all the pieces, you'll have plenty of time to do all that. So I'm doing some shading blue on this, and I'll hold it up to the camera in just a minute. It's I did the shading with the light blue, and I'm doing the outlining with the shading blue, but y'all, it's so pretty. It's a very soft blue and white look. It's not real harsh, very soft look. And I really like that. That's the look I'm going for. And you can see I'm not putting a lot of energy into these brush strokes. I'm not spending a lot of time on it. Because obviously I've painted for a long time, so I paint fast. But sometimes spending more time on something doesn't necessarily make it better. show you what I got. Okay, so I did 2 coats of white on the baby's blanket, and then I shaded in the light blue, which is light blue number 2, and then I outlined in the shading blue, which I think is number 3. All right, and then again on my hay, I've got shading yellow, and I mixed shading yellow with shading brown, and that's my hay using a rake brush. Hey Paula, how are you? Hi Tammy, I'm glad y'all could join me. I'm gonna show you the face. There's not a lot to this face because this piece is kind of small, but it's probably one of my more favorites in that, yes, it's a small piece, but it's such a pretty piece, and if you do it right, it looks really good. So I think I've told y'all before. Hey Kitty, how are you? I see Kitty on here, and Carla and Tammy and Paula. I'm so glad y'all could come hang out with me. It's so fun to have you guys here with me. Anyway, what I was gonna say is, I think I've said this before, whenever you're doing any of these faces on the nativities, of course I encourage you to do whatever you think you wanna do, but the approach that I take oftentimes with this is less is better. So when you're making that, I'm putting this shading flesh on here, I'm not trying to do a whole lot of paint. I'm trying to make it little, which it's a little piece. And on those facial features, of course I want a facial feature on there, but I'm not trying to make it huge and gaudy. Okay? And I'm gonna put it up here at the camera because I want you to see what I mean by that. So this is what I mean. So I did my shading around here, and then I just did a few very light things here. Of course, I brought it in on the nose a little bit right there. Brought his lips in a little bit right there, right? Now, I'm gonna give him some eyelashes here in just a minute, but it's gonna be in black, and I'm not ready to do that quite yet. But I've got his face shaded. Now, I'm going to wait for this to be last because I'm gonna be doing every knee shall bow. And before I do every knee shall bow, I'm gonna go in here and finish my hay because I don't wanna do this. This is gonna have a lot of white paint on it in a minute, and I don't wanna touch that as I get up there to the hay. So I'm gonna pick up my script liner. Let's see. I had a conference call today, so that's why I'm kind of like looking around to see if I can find what I'm looking for. Here's my script liner. I'm going to go back to the mixture of shading yellow and the shading brown. And I'm not going to make big strokes, but I am going to kind of come in here and do something, try to do it a lighter stroke. I'm doing that because between the rake brush and between that and this, I kind of get all sorts of strokes on my hay, which is really what I want. I'm not trying to put a lot of paint on there, so I'm kind of rolling it on the side. I want some paint on there, but not like I usually do if I were outlining. Y'all know when I'm outlining a lot, I put a lot of paint on there. That's not the case right now. Just kind of going in here and doing just random strokes. Okay, I think I got my hay where I want it. Now, the one thing I will do is I will go ahead and outline in this color. Now, you know when I'm outlining, I'm putting more paint on this brush, and I'm just going around the perimeter. That's what outlining is in this case. I'm just going around the perimeter a little bit. Coming up from the bottom. Not from the top, but from the bottom. And then I would just kind of do this, a little bit more. And then I'll start over here. And I'll do the same thing. I'll come over here, put a little bit more paint on there. And I'm just kind of coming up from the bottom. Just putting a lot of brush strokes on that hay. Because really, to me, that's what hay is, just a lot of brush strokes. You're not really shading per se, you're just taking that brush and just hitting the board with it here, there, and yonder. And that's pretty much all I'm gonna do on the hay. Now, what I am gonna do right here is I'm going to do that in white. For whatever reason, most of the time if you look at my stuff, hey Sarah, how are you? I'm so glad you're hanging out with me today. I'm glad you can make it. if you look at my stuff, when it comes to signs like this is like a little, I would call it a little banner sign. Most of the time, not all the time, you will see my go-to look is a dark background with light letters. And there's really no reason other than that's just what I like. It's not, I think you get a real good contrast with a darker background and a lighter letter. So that's kind of the look I go for. Now, when I'm doing lettering, I've got this bigger brush, and so I'm gonna put a lot of paint on here, and I honestly will probably have to come in here and touch these letters up tomorrow after it dries, because I'm gonna put so much paint on here, it may not look good the first time out. It'll look okay, but probably tomorrow I'll look at it and I'll just take a few stripes or a few brush strokes and I will clean that up. But you can already kind of see with a lot of white paint on there, I'm getting a good look already against that green background, okay? You could, if you wanted to, make your background dark green and this would stand out even a little bit more. But the thing about that dark green, it's so dark it almost looks black sometimes when you look at the piece at night, and I didn't want that dark. So I went with Christmas green right here behind my letters. And with the letters etched on there for you, it takes time, but y'all, it's just a matter of sitting here and doing this. It's not gonna be that difficult. It'll take time, but you know, it's not that difficult. But the thing about a nativity too, Baby Jesus, in my opinion, really, he's really the focal point. And for those of you that are selling your stuff, for whatever reason, my experience has been lettering on things really sells much quicker and faster than if you don't have lettering. I think if y'all remember, I think it was last week I put a post out, and we're doing an interchangeable truck. I think it's going to be in July. I don't think we'll get to it in June, but and I put it on there, do y'all want lettering? Like I had Happy Easter on the eggs and, you know, Happy Fall Y'all on the pumpkins, that kind of thing. And most people said without letters, and which really surprised me. But it was so glad that I asked, because I really wanted to know, you know, what people were thinking. And honestly, no letters is easy. Please don't go out on me. This phone is trying to go out. I'm sorry. If this phone goes out, I will just have to come back on after a while, because it says it's trying to go out on me. But if it does, my bad, y'all. It has not been my day for technology. It has not been the last couple of weeks for technology. But I hear a lot of people complaining about technology, so I don't think it's only me. I think a lot of people are feeling that way. So anyway, but I did go ahead and put lettering on this, because to me, Every Knee Shall Bow is very classic and kind of at the heart of the matter when it comes to a nativity. And you just kind of sit here and paint those letters, and you will find, notice that I went ahead and shaded this green banner before I started my letters, because I didn't want to come back and shade it later and get any dark green on my white letters. I kind of do the letters last, because the letters is the thing that's on the top. So whatever's on the top is kind of what you do last. So, and if you're going to do these letters and paint them, I think if you will do it in such a way that you get a lot of paint on there, load up your script liner. If you happen to have a old script liner that's kind of worn out, all the better, because you can get more paint on there. And I'm almost done with shall, bow, and knee. And then we just have, let me get over here a little bit more. Yeah, I actually already have the three animals cut out. I have cow, camel, and donkey cut out. I don't have them in the system all quite yet, but I do have them cut out. I'm going to put them in the system later on today. Every knee shall bow. And I'm on my capital letter K, y'all. See, it's not hard. You just have to take a little time to do it. I think because it's a small piece, the words would take over. Yeah, that's what a lot of people were thinking too, Debbie. So I just kind of thought, I'm so glad, y'all. It's so comforting, I guess, to me to get to make a post and show y'all a photo of something. And just, it's so interesting, because you think you know what people want, and then you're like, well, let me just ask to make sure. And then sometimes the feedback we get is really not what I expected, but I need to know that so I can do what y'all want. So, because I'm not trying to sell a blank to me. I have plenty of blanks. I'm trying to sell a blank to the folks. And so I need to know what y'all want. But yeah. So, the other thing we have about the truck, and I need y'all to let me know this. Would you prefer, we have two different possibilities on the truck. We could go with the truck that's about 32 inches long. And that's going to make it about 16, 18 inches tall. Or we could go with the truck that's about 42 inches long. And that's going to make it about 25 or 6 tall. And we have not made a decision on that, just because obviously there's a price difference. But I kind of like the idea of the bigger truck, because you're going to have the truck year round. But I don't know, y'all let me know if you like the idea of a bigger truck or a smaller truck. Obviously a smaller truck means a smaller interchangeable too, y'all. So that's one other reason why I kind of like the idea of going with the bigger truck, because then that would be able to make, we would be able to make the interchangeables a little bigger. But it does cost more to have the bigger truck. So it's kind of like, you know, we may have to put that out there and give y'all, okay, if we do it this size, this is the price. If we do it that size, this is the price. What do y'all want? So unfortunately, we have like most people, we always have to consider the budget, you know. We always have to consider how much we can get out on a sheet and how much machine time that's going to cost us. So let's do this. I'm almost done with every, and while I have this thing in my hand, I'm going to go do some highlighting on the rest of it, because I've got white in my hand already. Larger, Carla says, you know, Carla, I'm thinking larger too, because it's one of those that, because it's an interchangeable, you're going to have it there all year. So I'm with Carla on that one, but you know, it'll be interesting to see what everybody else says. And I'll just come in here with this brush and make some more strokes over here, y'all. If you don't like the white brush strokes, then you know, you don't have to do it. I just do it because I like them. So I've got my white. So already, that's what mine looks like so far. Just with those letters and those brush strokes. Okay. I'm going to put a little bit of here on my hay too, because you know, we always have to, Ashley and I always have to put white highlights, or we think we do. I don't know if we really have to, but we think we do. Debbie says larger. I think so. We'll see. I hope you guys, all you guys can answer me, because if y'all all say larger, we're just going to go larger. I like the idea of larger. And then you can buy the interchangeables across time as that season gets here. You know, so it's a little bit easier on the budget, but yet you've got your truck out there. And to me, that's really what it's about. So I'm going to wash out my brush, and I'm going to dip it in some shading green. Kind of get a little bit more off there. I got a lot of water in this stuff. And I'm going to go into the bottom of that CNC line right there between the hay and this green banner. Just cleaning up that line is all I'm doing. But that dark green line, to me, is really makes your banner stand out against the Christmas green background and the white letters. I'm going for that contrast is what I'm doing. Going for the contrast, so. I say larger also. Okay, Pam says larger. Okay, Debbie says larger. I think Carla was the one that said larger first, so I'm kind of feeling that way too, y'all. I think it was Joyce that said she liked the flag that I was working on. And I like the flag, but the problem with that flag, Victoria and I were looking at the flag the way it is right now. If I do the flag the way it is right now, it is going to be a you know what to paint, because it's got lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of lines. No feedback on my end. The nativity set will keep me busy. I hear you. Yeah, if you do the nativity set, Paula, you are going to be busy. But I think you'll be really happy with it too. And certainly when Christmas rolls around, your yard's going to look really good. So I've got this shading yellow and shading brown, and I'm just going to go in here and use it, okay? You could use regular shading brown on this if you want. It doesn't really matter. Do whatever you want to do, and all I'm doing is shading the perimeter, and then I'll show you. I do a little bit of shading on the, I mean a little bit of brush stroke on the inside, not a lot. Then I'm going to go pull my shading brown. Ooh, Lord, y'all. That thing dried up like crazy. flag sure is pretty though. It is, but Victoria and I looked at that, Debbie, and I thought if we cut this flag exactly the way that design is right now, I seriously think y'all might try to murder me when you go to paint it. Because it has like what I would call double lines in there. So you're going to do twice the painting. So I haven't finished that design because the idea is I'm trying to make this as easy as I can on y'all, and there's so many things that I can't change and make easier, but that's one of those but I did like the wave of the flag, how the flag started out like this and kind of like that, and that's what you want in the bed of that truck. You want it to have a wave to it. So anyway, I'm going to look at it some more, and in fact, I might even just go ahead and cut one out and look at it and just see how, if I thought we could get away with it. Almost done. I got to put some white down here. Won't take me long. And then I'm going to show you what I'm going to do on his face for his eyes. It's going to be real easy, but it's real pretty. And it's just a trick that I've done all these years for a lot of the Manger stuff for eyes. Okay. Here's what I have so far. Okay, put it down like that. So I have it, and I haven't been on this live but maybe 30 minutes, I don't know, not very long. Of course, y'all might not paint as fast as I do, but that's okay. And killing over that is any different than the others. Debbie, she goes, as if killing Mary over that is going to be any different than killing Mary over another piece. True that, Debbie, true that. I didn't think about that. Oh, I needed that laugh. I know, I needed that laugh, Debbie. Today has just been a day that it didn't go the way I thought it was going to go. And I should have known better because it's a Monday. Let me get up under here where y'all can really see this. I'm going to turn this down. Okay. So here's the little CNC line for his eyes. They're closed. So it's just a little line right here. So I'm going to put, again, I'm not going to load this paint up real crazy. I'm going to kind of twist it a little bit, roll it, whatever you call it, try to get some off of there. I'm trying to go for a thin line. There's my line. Okay, and once you have your line, this is what I do. I take this, and this is something I don't do very often because usually, for whatever reason, I have better luck doing closed eyelashes this way. Okay, I take my brush and I just start at that line and I just go down a little bit and pick it up. I'm trying to create a dainty because this is a baby. You don't want big. This is not, you know, a woman going out on the town with big eyelashes. This is a baby. So you're trying to create a really dainty, small look. And I'll put this up there at the camera so y'all can see. The main thing I want you to see is that my eyelashes are not perfect, okay? I didn't do my eyelashes where every single eyelash ends at the same place or every single eyelash is the same length. They're not, okay? See my eyelashes? They're not the same length, okay? But just if you'll take your time and do this line first and then just kind of go back. It's wanting to run on me a little bit, you can see, because I've gotten holding it up. So, but I started with white paint. I did one white coat on the whole thing. And then I did a white base coat, light yellow base coat, Christmas green base coat, shading brown, reindeer brown base coat, and of course my flash. My banner is in white letters with dark green shading. The bottom of my manger, I shaded in the yellow and shading brown that I mixed together, shading yellow and shading brown, and then I outlined it in shading brown. And then of course I got my flesh and shading flesh and black eyelashes, and that's it. That's it, y'all. Not very difficult. I think I'll be coming on tomorrow. Gosh, I can't remember. I think we have a live 4 days this week, but anyway, I'll post it, okay? I'll post it for y'all. But this is definitely, I think, a very good centerpiece, and it's not very expensive. It doesn't take very long, but it definitely 100% gives the message of the painted nativity. So hopefully you'll go buy this and you'll paint it and you'll love it and you'll post it. Please post what y'all do. I love to see what y'all do. Some of you guys follow what I do. Some of you guys just kind of go do something totally different. I love to see that as well. And hopefully I'm inspiring y'all to paint your painted nativity. You have all year to work on it, and as long as you got it done by December, you're good. So, and this is only what, May. So we're still good. Y'all have a good day, and we will see you again sometime this week. Ashley will be on one day this week doing the patriotic truck. I will be on one day this week also doing, somebody tell me, what am I doing? I think I put it on there. I can't remember. I'm doing another piece, but I'll get on there and do it. We'll see y'all later. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.